Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of Sunday, the 22nd of November through Saturday to come, the 28th. And we are going to start with Forget It, Dirty Movie, and Party. So party is pretty straightforward. I mean, it could be party as in group, or maybe even party of three, or party in the traditional sense, the literal sense. Especially with cocktail looking at me. It could be cocktail party. Maybe some sort of event someone's going to. Could be connected to Thanksgiving, perhaps. Who knows? I have sex here, but it's looking me in the face, but it's upside down. So I don't know if that means anything. Dirty movie is often the exchange of like pictures, videos, online dating. It could be like some sort of viral video that like we're all looking at, is popular all around. Or it could be something intimate between, a party of 2, 3, 4, whatever you're into. The last one is Forget It. So I think that's pretty straightforward. Could be letting something go, or saying like, just give it up, who cares? It's still upside down. So maybe it did mean something before. Sex. Cocktail. I guess that one meant something as well, as I thought. And the last one is email, which was also looking me in the face, but I had like ignored it. May us be celebrating some birthdays too, especially since we are beginning with the Three of Cups. I know today, Friday, the day on which I'm doing this reading, was Delroy Lindo's birthday, one of my favorite actors, and of course, President-elect Joseph Biden's birthday, among perhaps many, many others, and possibly even somebody that is tuned in right now. Three of Cups, in a general sense, is about reunions, and can definitely mean that we should expect at least one positive reunion this week with someone or something. So, don't necessarily expect your ex to be coming back. It might not be that, but it may be your long lost whatever. Like, oh, I can't believe I found this. It's been years. I had no idea what this was. I didn't even know it was missing. Here it is. And I'm so happy. Or maybe you are getting to see somebody, maybe because of the holidays. Again, you're getting to see somebody, even if it's via Zoom, for Thanksgiving, and there's a reunion. You haven't seen each other in a while, or spoken in a while, or whatever. So positive reunions, events, possibly in person, that we're encouraged to go to, if that's safe for us, wherever we are in the world. And also, there's just need to be more social in a general sense too. So that can be on the phone. Maybe it's be a viral video. Maybe it's dirty movie. It doesn't necessarily have to be in person. The card behind it is the Seven of Wands in reverse. So we'll move on to shuffling. Opening first to the Three of Wands upright. So already right off the bat, 2 threes. Again, that can be what the party was about. And another reason that party showed up is in party of 3. Emperor in reverse represents the planet Mars, the signs of Aries and Scorpio most directly. It's another 7. So all we've seen so far, aside from the Emperor, are 3s and 7s, I think. This is the 7 of Pentacles upright. And opposite this Three of Cups, it could definitely be, again, like somebody's wait is over. They've been patient, even if it's been subconsciously. And again, there's going to be some sort of reuniting with someone or something. Three of Cups. I'll do one more, and it is the Sun in reverse. Major Arcana card, the Sun, most directly represents the planet Jupiter, the sign of Sagittarius, which it rules. Which the Sun enters this week, actually, during this period for which this reading is. I think those are mixed up pretty good. What do you think? It's the Four of Wands. That's now our overall energy. Four of Wands is a positive card, whether it is upright or in reverse. It is about contracts, commitments, anything and up to and including marriage in terms of contracts and commitments. Happy home, relocating, cohabitation, renovation, just feeling content and happy in our own skin. Maybe your body is your house, your temple, so to speak. So it could be about that for me in my readings. Maybe not in a general sense, but for me in my readings. Also, there's a saying that like love is a house. As a matter of fact, there was a song like that when I was younger by this group called the Force MDs. Love is a house. So like we're home is where the heart is. It goes along those lines. So it can have something to do with that too. Like if you found a relationship, and maybe your environment isn't all that thrilling, you're still in a positive mood, you're still feeling good because that love is intact and is strong and is healthy. I'm going to pull 4 cards. The first one is going to most directly represent the collective over the course of the week from a general standpoint, and it is that 7 of Pentacles now in reverse. I'll make sure it's in frame later. Never mind. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers, something going on at the job, stuff like that. 5 of Wands in reverse. Work and or finance, or like income and stuff. 7 of Wands is back, still in reverse. And lastly, love and relationship. And the Sun is also back and it's upright. I tried to get different cards. You guys saw me shuffle and cut into I don't know how many different piles. But the same cards returned. Okay, they are indeed in frame. So let's get to it. And honestly, looking at the spread as a whole, I think it's saying that it's like time to, what do you call it? When you take time to smell the roses, like to enjoy life and maybe not be working so hard this week. I know Thanksgiving is canceled around a lot of the country, and in other countries of the world, it's not Thanksgiving at all. And so, you may have work every day, but where you can take a break and like to enjoy the fruits of your labor, the things you've already worked for, and life itself and the people you care about and stuff like that. This is guiding you to do that, especially I think in consideration of the 3 of Cups as well, with which we started. But focusing specifically on the 4 of Wands in reverse, in addition to what I already mentioned about this card, it says that good fortune could very well be headed our way, unexpectedly maybe even. But it still means that we have to, like work towards stuff. Like we can't just get comfortable in the fact that we're comfortable and, that everything is just going to keep coming to us. In order to manifest, we have to, do our part too. Even prayer, according to the scriptures, as they say, without works is dead, meaning like to just pray and try to get, God to, or whatever it is, in what or whomever it is you believe, to do everything and you don't have to put forth any effort, is not the way to do it. Typically. So that's not the way that prayer works. That's not the way the law of attraction works. That's not the way manifestation works. And, maybe there are other mechanisms and things that with which I'm not familiar, but those are the ones we're focused on right here in this reading. And they all require us to put forth some sort of effort. And so that's what this card says too. Just things could be going well for you and you could be happy. You could be content. Money, no worries about anything right now, but that doesn't mean to get, too comfortable, too lazy. And then in connection with the 7 of Pentacles, however, 7 of Pentacles in reverse is, to me, it makes total sense that it's Pentacles. I guess this is why it is. It's just so earth sign like. I think we probably all know an earth sign like this. And maybe it's just me though, because I tend to surround myself with like Virgos and stuff, at least in terms of my men and everything, like my exes and stuff, with the exception of my ex-husband and children's father. Like my boyfriends were Virgos, and in any case, and my son's a Leo Virgo, Cuspian. So Virgos and earth signs in general, because I've got a bunch of Taurus friends too, and Capricorn friends. These Capricorn is the workhorse of the zodiac, right? Considered that. But all earth signs tend to have like good work ethic. They are known in terms of their positive traits for making plans and setting goals and really being committed to achieving them, even if it takes them a long time or forever. They work at it until they are successful. And I mean, that's admirable. That's phenomenal, right? That's wonderful. And we may all have occasion to envy them and like wish we could be that committed to the things we set out to do. But on the negative side, sometimes they're so much this way that they don't know, like when they've won. Like you just keep working and working and achieving and succeeding and achieving and succeeding and achieving and succeeding. Like, when do you sit back and enjoy that, or say, I've reached the goal, I've done enough, now I can enjoy sleeping in my new bed, driving my new car, spending time with my new boyfriend, my new girlfriend, my new husband, my new wife, whatever the case is. Enjoying my kids. I don't have to be at work 24 hours a day. I can spend some time with my family. Like, when do you realize that you're able to do that? And what they do a lot of the times is just constantly keep like raising the bar up higher for themselves. So it's like they never realize that they've made it. You know what I mean? Or that they've achieved that success that they wanted to, or that they've reached that goal that they had, originally set. And so they just keep working on past it. So this isn't specifically for the air sign, for the earth signs rather. I'm talking to everybody. It is the card for us all. But that was my best way that I could explain what the card says or means to me. It's that sort of thing. So any one of us could be behaving this way this week. But then again, if we put the cards together, I think it's saying not to behave that way, and to definitely take some time to stop and smell the roses. Because if we move on to the card that representative of our surrounding energy, the Five of Wands in reverse, this one in the most general sense says that it's really important, like, to believe in ourselves right now. So it's like you have to believe that you have achieved, or that you can achieve, that that you've reached the goal, or that you can reach the goal, so that you know where the limit is. Also, it warns of someone or something around us maybe that we don't trust, and guides us definitely to trust instead our instincts. However, it warns that in any case, like whatever's going on, even if we're right and something is up, that we should avoid or be hesitant to like escalate a situation or a conflict, and try to avoid saying or doing things that we can't take back, right? Some things are irreversible. So be careful and like not be too hasty. Really, no matter how annoyed or even angry we may get, which isn't necessarily the easiest. So it's trying to maintain a cool head. And maybe that's why, another reason why this card is the one that is most directly representing us. And not only this card, but this element. Because again, earth signs are these practical people. And I'm not saying they don't get angry or annoyed or stuff. I mean, that they can be bullheaded. I mean, we're talking Taurus and Capricorn, of course, they can. But at the same time, they are the most grounded in terms of their positive traits, the most practical. And so maybe we can try to take advantage of their positive traits to maintain, a cool head, even when we're a little bit pissed, and be mindful of what we say or do in terms of escalating conflict, especially if we don't necessarily know what we're talking about, if we're going off, a vibe or instincts. Not that vibes don't tend to be correct. You know what I'm saying? If you do feel like there's someone around you or something around you doesn't quite meet the smell test, as they say, you're probably right, and you should trust your instincts. But at the same time, don't go, completely off, half-cocked, as they say. Could be something up with work too, especially since the Seven of Wands follows in the position of work and finance. And there also we're guided to, try to calmly and rationally have conversations and avoid arguments and that sort of thing. And if we're looking for work, the guidance is to try not to be discouraged by the amount of competition that's out there. Whether it's in general, like the number of people at large that are out of work and oh my goodness, I got to try to go up against all these people, or at a specific place, maybe where you're applying. Well, you might be looking around the room and saying, well, this guy's pretty smart too, and that guy's pretty smart. It's a guidance to, again, have confidence in yourself. So taking you back to this Five of Wands, believe in yourself, know that you can achieve the goals that you set for yourself. Moving on to that Seven of Wands in reverse, with work, if you're already employed, it can mean that you're sort of unsure as to what to do or how to handle a work situation or circumstance. And I think we already just talked about what to do. Try to remain calm, cool, practical, and have like adult conversations and dealings about it. If you're looking for work, with regard to this specific placement, the Seven of Wands in the position of work and finance, then the guidance is to think outside the box about like different work you could do. Maybe something you've always wanted to start on your own. There might be an opportunity. Is there somebody that you haven't talked to yet that may be able to put in a good word for you or help you or even hire you, through networking or connection or something like that? This is the time this week. And lastly, love and relationships. Major Arcana card 19, the Sun, which again most directly represents the planet Jupiter in the sign of Sagittarius, which it rules, into which the Sun enters this week. If you're single, this is a good card for you in terms of like if you're looking for love, could definitely be like, as they say, on the horizon for you. So it's straight ahead. Just keep going straight on that path that you're heading. And if you're already in a relationship, it more so connects with the other cards that we've seen. It may be that you and or your mate or love interest need a break, need some space. So maybe you need some space on a break together. Maybe you want to go somewhere where there's a warm climate if you're able to do that, or spend some time in the sun, having a good time. Or you may need your own space, period. And again, that can be literal, particularly with the way that I read the Four of Wands in reverse, that you may need some more, some more time, like getting comfortable with yourself and having confidence, like in your own skin. And I just need a break. I just need to, to pull away for a minute, maybe so we don't have conflict. There's been something funky in the air. That can be the case too. Although in terms of love with the Five of Wands, like if this has anything to do with your love and relationships, the conflicts that are had with when the Five of Wands in reverse shows up as opposed to upright, tend to be conversations that are helpful, like arguments and debates. As long as we don't go too low, far below the belt, these arguments are more helpful to the relationship than hurtful. And whatever that means. I mean, even if, God forbid, that means, I think we need to take a break. I think I need some space. I think you need some space. We need some space. It's still a conversation that was worth your while and having, because prior to that, you'd been sweeping something under the rug and avoiding the conversation. And now having it, you both feel so much better. So then that's why the Sun is there. Also, yeah, it can be about like some kind of separation. It's kind of weird because you look at the Sun and in general, like the Sun makes everything better. And again, this is better too. But when you tell people there could be, separation or a break or break up, and if it's not going to be them together, it can be that too for some of you. You're taking a break together. You both need to get away. You both need to spend some time together, work in your relationship or enjoying each other. Again, the fruits of your labor. If you want to bring it back to this first card with which we started, all of that can be true. But for somebody or a couple of people, whatever, it could also be about like I'm realizing I need my space from you, you need your space from me. Maybe because of quarantine, for example. Maybe you've just been spending too much time together. You got thrust together because of the pandemic, possibly, and you've had enough. You both had enough. That's another possibility. Whatever the case is, know that, again, ultimately, it's a positive thing. And I don't necessarily know where this is going, but this week I'm guided to use my past life oracle cards to further clarify these, beginning with communal living, just maybe to see what this is tied to from a past life, these things through which we're going, karmic lessons and experiences, possibly because of a dream that I had last week. So I shared with my Patreon subscribers, those that with which I share my daily reading. I shared with them that I had a dream the other day and woke up with vocabulary on my mind that is not from this lifetime. I Googled it, and it's things that existed in Atlantis. And there is like an Atlantis card in this deck. You see spouse has turned up twice too, I want to point out, and baby. And also love life. Did you see that? So all of this could be tied to some sort of past relationship. It looks like a positive one. Yeah. So I woke up with this word on my mind, and I wrote it down. I spelled it wrong, but I did write it down and looked it up, and it was something from Atlantis. So I ended up going through like the looking glass, like Alice, way into the weeds on this thing. And I'll share more with everybody else soon too. I'm just trying to better understand it myself. Like sometimes I get messages that are super clear and super like instant. And sometimes it's a little bit more frustrating, like this one. I don't know exactly what it is I'm being shown or told. Because we all, myself included, like our vibrations fluctuate. So I'm not suggesting that, I ever drop into like a low vibration, but I drop into a lower vibration that I sometimes have, Yeah. And so sometimes I'm more psychic than other times, although I'm always psychic. You know what I mean? So in any case, when I better understand it, I'll share more. But I think that may be why I've been moved to use these cards. And so far, the ones that we've seen, just in me shuffling and cutting, although I didn't stop to talk about them because I was telling this other story instead, have been super positive. Again, they were things like love life, spouse, I noticed twice, baby, and now our overall energy is angels. I'm going to pull 4 cards from here the same way I did from the Rider-Waite deck. So the first one, again, most directly representing us this week in a general sense, and it's back to communal living. So maybe that's why we never know like when to stop. Maybe it's because of something in our past life when we were used to working consistently and persistently for a larger group. Like I have to provide for this group and they provide for me, but there has to be enough for everybody. So I work and 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 I never stop maybe to enjoy all that stuff that I worked for. So that this could be something that we need to deal with from a past life this week. You might want to focus on it. Right? I'm just trying to bring some enlightenment and clarity to like why these energies are showing up. So again, surrounding energy, clarifying further the 5 of Wands in reverse. We have biblical. Somebody could get into an argument about their ideologies, whether it is actually religion or, politics or any number of things. Because as soon as I picked up the card, in general, the card, if I was giving you the meaning from this oracle deck and from the book, it has to do with you having had a lifetime and being alive in biblical times, right, and have a particular type of experience. But beyond that, I feel that it is saying that a conflict or argument could be because of differences, like stark differences, and or somebody's morals, like morality versus immorality. I don't know who gets to determine what that means necessarily, or to judge it, but that's what I'm feeling. So it could be politics, it could be something racial differences, Maybe even gender or, like sexism. I don't know. But I'm feeling something here with ideology. And I'm sure for some it could be because, of religiosity too. Work and finance. Why might we be going through whatever it is we're going with that? Baby. So, my first message was that, again, this might have to do with like your baby in terms of your own business or project or something. Like, it is time for you to work on that. This is fresh, fertile energy. Time for a new start, a new idea. Maybe if you do stay even in the same company, but again, it's like in terms of something's not working and I need to figure out how to make this situation work for me. So maybe thinking outside the box. If there's an opportunity maybe to transfer to another department or to do something differently, that would all be connected to baby. And then for some people, it could be more literal. There's a situation going on in my work, my finances, because of my child or children, family, trying to provide. And so that's a situation through which you need to move. And lastly, love and baby again is one of those cards that showed up as I was shuffling. And last but not least, love and relationship, and it is love life. Another one of these cards that showed up as I was shuffling. So you could be in a current relationship perhaps that is with somebody from a past life, and or you need to get out of that relationship so that you can be in one with somebody from a past life perhaps. With this overall energy of angels, just as I stated before, it's saying that whatever the situation is in any of these cases, it's a positive one. I mean, this is positive. We're not talking about dark angels here, right? This is light, and this is trees, all about growth, expansion, right? Positivity, more earth energy too, maybe connected to this Seven of Pentacles. Orphan could be a sense of feeling of being alone, of lacking confidence and esteem in oneself. Again, that's an overall theme of this reading that we got to watch out for that. Medicine, man or woman, maybe time to work on healing those areas that you've been feeling. Whether you're doing it yourself and you are in fact the medicine man or woman, or you're going, to see one that can help you. And it's all about, again, moving beyond lessons, karmic lessons, and also manifesting blessings. Additionally, love life, I can't help but look at them as one big card. Doesn't it look like it's sort of blending in together? It's like one big picture. But love life can indicate that you had a painful experience in a past life too, and maybe that's why it's causing you to be this person that needs space, or again, for the two of you to need space because something is coming up from your past. Working on yourself can help to sort of reopen you to positive experiences in love. Help to heal the heart chakra. So you're playing your own medicine woman in that. This card, and I guess in a more positive sense, can also be sort of validation that the person, the man or woman or both, or whatever you're into, that you're romantically interested in is some sort of prominent figure from your past life, and they've moved into this one as well to be with you again in some capacity. And you may not have been involved with them romantically in the past, but if you feel romantically or sexually involved, attracted rather, interested in being involved with them in this lifetime, then it's sort of like an indication that those feelings and thoughts are part of a greater plan that is to occur in this lifetime. What else I want to say about this? I don't know. It's again, it can cause you to be overly cautious. Something that you experienced from your past life. And so that may be tied in with this here too. And the biblical, maybe it was something you experienced back in that lifetime in those days. And that's why it's tied to the Five of Wands in reverse too. Again, lack of confidence, lack of esteem, lack of esteem, maybe because of something with which we dealt in that past lifetime, that we've brought that baggage with us all these years forward, and it's affecting us now, you know. So maybe you need a break to work on releasing that, and so you can get back to this love life and to this person. Because if we look at them together, again, love life can definitely be a card that is showing up because one or more of your past lives is affecting you now in this lifetime. And I think it can be affecting you in this way. You know, since this is the card again that's most directly representing us. This is surrounding energy, so it potentially our energy as well as that of other people surrounding us, including our romantic interest or partner. And lastly, looking at baby again, it may be tied again to the trees, to the energy of Jupiter, perhaps, and again, that of growth and expansion. So something starting out small and then growing into a larger and I would say better. Again, looking at the positive overall energies that we have here too, we got to consider those larger and better situation for us. All right, on that note, thank you for watching the general reading this week. If you're interested in sticking around with me, I'm going to I'm going to quickly log into my computer and go over what else is going on this week from the perspective of like the celestial system, you know, the planetary calendar, so to speak, the like theological calendars, so Hebrew, Islamic, Christian, and that's it. All right, yeah, so stick around if you will. Others of you, please do like, share, comment, subscribe, all those things. If you do subscribe, first and foremost, I am grateful to you for doing so. But please do hit both the subscribe button and the bell button so that hopefully you'll receive your notifications. Now I'm going to pick up my laptop here and open it up and get logged on. Alrighty. We're going to begin with the Christian calendar and the 22nd of November, the first day for which this reading is, and that is the feast day of Christ the King. It's also the feast day of Saint Cecilia, but that's not something that I would talk about. We are celebrating or recognizing the celebration of Christ the King. So I'm going to talk about that. And for that, I've just gone to www.wikipedia.org. And some of you may want to go to this. This is the most interesting picture or depiction of Jesus I've ever seen. Doesn't look anything like that typical European Jesus that we're shown. Doesn't necessarily look like a Middle Eastern or African man either, but it's different. So if you're interested, you may want to check it out, those of you who are into this sort of thing. I'm going to start to read just a little bit of this. The solemnity of our Lord, and of course when it says our Lord, it's referring to Christians, is their Lord, Jesus Christ, King of the universe. I think that's a really interesting description of him or title. King of the universe is what it says here. Commonly referred to as the Feast of Christ the King, or Christ the King Sunday, is a relatively recent addition to the Western liturgical calendar, having been instituted in the year 1925 by Pope Pius XI. And he did this for the Roman Rite of the Catholic Church. In 1970, its Roman Rite observance was moved to the final Sunday of Ordinary Time. Therefore, the earliest date on which it can occur is the 20th of November, and the latest date is the 26th of November, because after that week, we will have moved into Advent, so no more Ordinary Time. The Anglican, Lutheran, and many other Protestant churches also celebrate the Feast of Christ the King, which is contained in the Revised Common Lectionary. Roman Catholics, adhering to the extraordinary form of the Roman Rite, used the general Roman calendar of 1960, and as such, continue to observe the solemnity on its original date of the final Sunday of October. It is also observed on the same computed date as the final Sunday of the ecclesiastical year, the Sunday before the first Sunday of Advent, by Western Rite parishes of the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia. There, on the Hebrew calendar, there actually is nothing this week, but if you remember last week, I'm pretty sure it was last week that I said, oh, wait a minute, I could have sworn there was something this week. I guess it's next week, and I didn't talk about what I was going to talk about. And sure enough, it was last week. I don't know what I looked at in terms of the calendar. I signed on. In fact, I didn't have, tonight I have my computer on silent, but I had the sound on that day. So everybody even heard the ding when I signed on. And I looked at something, but it must not have been the actual Hebrew calendar, because I don't know. I didn't see anything there. What I should have mentioned to you was November 17th, which was my mother's birthday, actually, was the first day of the month of Kislev for the year, this year, 5,781. And so just quickly, let me tell you about the month of Kislev by going to www.shabbat.org. I'm pretty sure I didn't go over this last week. Kislev, or Chislev, is the 9th month of the Jewish calendar counting from Nisan. It's best known for the holiday of Hanukkah, which begins on the 25th of Kislev. And I remember talking about Hanukkah because I talked about last week on the 15th was the feast day of, or Hindu recognition observance of Diwali. And so I said, it's kind of like Hanukkah, in terms of light versus dark, good versus evil. Same premise. I don't know how I missed it. In any case, the message of Hanukkah is the eternal power of light over darkness. Yes, good over evil. Aside from commemorating the miraculous victory of the small Jewish army over the mighty Syrian Greek Empire, Hanukkah celebrates the miracle of the oil. When the Jews sought to light the temple menorah after the war, they found only one small jug of pure oil. Miraculously, the one-day supply burned for 8 days, and the sages instituted the 8-day festival of Hanukkah, during which we kindle the menorah nightly. In this month, we celebrate the redemption also of Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, the founder of Chabad Hasidism, who had been imprisoned on false charges by the Tsarist regime. These charges were reflective of spiritual charges brought against him for openly teaching the deepest insights of the Torah. On the 19th of Kislev, he was freed, paving the way both physically and spiritually to continue teaching Hasidism. This day is referred to as the New Year of Hasidism. Now, on that note, I'll move right into the planetary calendar, or celestial calendar, whatever we want to call it. And on November 25th at 6:16 a.m., Pluto, ruler of the sign of Scorpio, will be quintile Chiron, the wounded healer, who was able to heal everybody else. So he was the medicine man or woman, but not himself, not able to heal himself. Both Pluto and Chiron, which is retrograde currently in the sign of Aries, will be quintile. Okay. And then the last day for which this reading is November 28th. This is my daughter's birthday. I got a Sag, a Leo Virgo, and a Scorpio. Lucky me, right? At 7:37 p.m., Neptune, ruler of the sign of Pisces, which has been retrograde in the sign of Pisces for like 5 or 6 months, finally goes direct. 18 degrees Pisces. So for that, I opened a page at www.tarot.com, and on October 19th of this year, they wrote this article. Neptune Direct. Life gets hazy as nebulous Neptune moves forward. A fog is rolling in. Nebulous Neptune is the planet of illusion and confusion. And when it went retrograde for 5 months earlier this year, during that time of clear sight, life might have felt all too real. But when Neptune goes direct on November 28th, 2020, in its home sign of Pisces, we'll be able to dip back into that lovely fantasy world that we prefer to reality. Neptune is the planet that protects us from reality when it's too harsh. Neptune gives us faith, spirituality, and dreams. So when it is retrograde, we saw things very clearly and found it harder to escape. Neptune direct, on the other hand, gives us a break. It's sort of encouraging us to live in denial and to ignore the nagging fears that we don't feel quite ready to deal with. But that's okay, because it does inspire our imaginations and gives us faith. There is a dark side to Neptune direct, and there is anytime you choose fantasy over reality. And that is that we may take our escapism too far and delude ourselves into doing the wrong things, like staying in bad relationships or jobs. But if we try to think a little bit more objectively, then we can avoid that pitfall. That's making me really focus on this work and finance section, especially with the baby here. Like, again, starting with something new, something out of the box. That's what it's talking about here. It says, if we try to think more objectively, we can avoid that pitfall, right? Maybe by doing something new. Use this time instead to appreciate your ability to dream and the expressions of compassion you meet. Neptune wants to show you the ideal beauty in the world, and this is your chance to let go and to feel your way through it with all your heart. I hope you guys have enjoyed this week's weekly general reading. I will be back with love. Please do, again, like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that. I do appreciate it. If you're subscribing, please hit both the subscribe button and the bell button, and maybe you'll actually get notifications. Thanks again. Namaste.